but then they talk about our colleges are bad. Why are colleges bad? Pay our college teachers to teach stuff. Pay our high school teachers to teach stuff. Our teachers should be paid vastly more than they are. If you don't get paid nothing and you got to work Uber after you get done teaching kids, you can't grade papers right. You can't give them the time they need when you go to school.
That part.
You got to work Uber after you get done teaching kids. You can't grade papers right. You can't give them the time they need when you go to school.
For the first time, welcome, Jordan Conley. How you doing, my guy?
Aloha. I am very good. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. I see the shirt. I want to get straight into it, man. I see the shirt. I know you're all about, being active. You're all about the kids and devoting your time towards that. Like, tell people a little bit about yourself before we get into the politics and all that. Just tell them about Jordan.
Right on. So the shirt is, what is it, Basketball Hawaii Youth Academy. And
Nice.
so this is a nonprofit I've worked with. It's not the nonprofit that I sent to you. So this is a nonprofit that does basketball for free for kids. It's a lot like the one I did send to you. And so if you guys want to look it up, look it up. They do basketball and they're starting volleyball soon. So if you're interested in either of those sports, go there.
That's awesome.
The nonprofit that I started that I sent to you was called Hapamana. And so we started that in 2016 and we went to different low income areas. Like we went to IHS, which out here is what is the Institute for Human Services. And they work with the homeless areas and homeless shelters and whatnot. And we went to Kunia Village, which is an old Del Monte pineapple plantation, and now it's a low income housing area. And so we worked with a bunch of different like schools that would be the low income schools in our area. And we went there to do after school programs and weekend programs, like
Wow.
weekend camps. And so basically, I also work at a hospital. So I would bring like nurses and doctors and the what I would call the smartest people I know. And I'm a personal trainer, so I would bring taekwondo people, kung fu people, basketball people, all the different trainers I know. And we do like these education sports camps where you
Nice.
would do like a sport thing and an education thing, and you go back and forth to that, working with like say a doctor or a nurse on whatever they want. I just tell them to teach them whatever they thought was important for kids to know, because I don't know stuff that doctors know and I don't know stuff other people know. So I just
Right.
try to get as many mentors around the kids as I could so they could learn from as many successful adults as they could.
That's good, man. We've got you into that. That's like I know that takes a ton of your time, so it's got to be
So
something deep.
I've always been an athlete and I've always been like nice to people. And like when I was young, I was a quarterback at the high school, right? So I'm like that guy.
Okay.
But when I was in middle school and high school, when people would like bully people or like get in skirmishes, I would always stop it. Like I'd see it a little bit, I'd let you play around, but then if somebody got hurt or upset, I'd always break it up and stuff. And so my entire life, I've always just tried to help people out. And from 20 to 30 years old or 18 to 30, I was a bartender and a server working in the industry, just trying to help people out when they came in, trying to make their day, make a new friend and stuff like that. When I got to be about 28, I thought I wanted to do more. I'm like, I'm not really like affecting people the way I want to affect them, right? And so I got my personal trainer thing because I was always working out and people told me I should be a personal trainer. So I thought that would be a good thing, be a personal trainer, coach and stuff, work with people. So at 30 years old, I got my personal trainer certification. I'm NASM certified. I started volunteer coaching and started working other jobs with, the clubs and stuff. I worked at the Oahu Club, Honolulu Club, and then I worked my way to working at hospitals now. I do boot camps and train with the doctors and nurses. So I work for the staff. There's not a hospital or it's not a gym that regular people come in. It's like working with the staff of the hospital. But
Gotcha.
so I just, when I was growing up, I didn't get coached the way I wanted to get coached. I was a very good athlete and everyone told me I was, but I didn't really. I played a little bit in college, but not a lot. And so as I grew up, I knew there was a lot left out when I was an adult, right? So I coach kids the way I think I wanted to be coached, and I always ask kids, "What are you good at, and what do you want to do?" And so I say it'd be great if you can do what you want to do and get paid for, but if you find out what you're good at, if you can't get paid at what you want to do, get paid at what you're good at, so that you can do what you want to do on your off time, right? And
That's
so I
good.
talk to
That's
kids in
good.
that way. So I was always an athlete, and I was in like the AP classes, like the college prep classes when I was in school. So
Okay.
I was like one of those nerd athletes and whatnot. So I just I know every kid is smart. No matter
Yeah.
who you are, you're smart, and all you gotta do is talk to them, right? And I really connect with kids. I can talk to them on a youth level, and I can talk to a 6-year-old like at a 6-year-old level and teach them things that are like 10-year-old level type stuff. But I know I can't talk to every kid, right? And I know I don't know everything. So I knew all these smart people, and I was coaching kids already. But while I was training, you got to have money to train. Your parents got to have money, or you got to have money, right? And there's a lot of kids being left out that don't have money. I didn't like that. I don't like that at all, right? So
Hmm.
had a thought, and I met a man who said that if I started a nonprofit, he could give me $5,000 a year from his what he had a LLC or like an institution or whatever he had,
Yeah.
a foundation. And
All right.
so, like as a base, I'm like, okay, that's great. I can work with that. And so
Yeah.
I started it. He gave me $5,000 check with a nonprofit, a $5,000 check, and so I just started working with kids. I don't we didn't charge the community at all. I just started writing grants and asking people, and so foundation started giving us money, businesses started giving us money, and everybody would let us use their facilities for free. Since we're not charging their kids, we're like, oh well, if you're not charging the kids, we can't charge you, right? And we're like, great. And so we could use
Mm.
facilities for free, and we bring kids food and water bottles and T-shirts and stuff like that, and
That's fire.
just I was just trying to bring them coaches and mentors that could make their lives better.
That's fire, man. That's fire. Kudos to you. You know, you took something that you saw as a kid and found a very easy way, a very doable way to
Right.
make it happen for other kids. And I bet it gives you that feeling like, why ain't nobody do this when I was a kid? Why y'all didn't think of this
Exactly.
before? Why it take so long? You know what I mean?
It's very replicable too. Like it wasn't very hard to do once I got it going, and
Yeah,
people came to the camps. They were like, "This is amazing. I love working with these kids," and because these kids are all just happy and bouncing around, and
of course.
it's fun to see little kids happy and help them out and
Yeah,
help the future, right? Like these
yeah,
kids, like I brought tennis, a lot of tennis. I work with these tennis people because tennis people got money, right? And so I'm working with these kids that don't got money and they're never going to play tennis. But then for some reason I had this in for them to have tennis, so I brought them tennis, and we brought tennis rackets and tennis players, and now you get free tennis lessons, which cost like $100 an hour, right? And I'm getting these
yeah.
kids free tennis lessons every
Wow.
weekend, and sometimes I had an after school program with them where with the IHS where they did it once a week. So I mean, I tried to bring to them what they couldn't afford.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing that?
So it started in 2016, and we actually shut down in about 2021. COVID, like what we do is bring people together, and we have big groups of people, right? Big groups of kids, big groups of adults. So
Yeah,
COVID was really hard on us to
yeah,
have where we had to stay 5 feet apart or can't even be in big groups, right? So we
yeah.
didn't get together for about a year. We had like meetings and stuff with the people online like this and whatnot, but it was hard to get the kids back in. And once we started working, the kids were kind of scared, and we had a smaller group, and it was just, and plus we didn't get to play any games, right? There were no games for a long time, and the kids get upset when they practice for like a year or two and don't
Mm.
get to play no games because we had been practicing from about 2017 to 2020. I had just actually got them jerseys donated, and we were going to start playing games in 2020. Then COVID happened, right? So then there was like another 2-year layoff to where
Oh,
we could play games, and it was hard to keep the kids coming. So it was just
oh,
we
yeah.
ended up shutting down.
I know that's frustrating for a kid. Like, okay,
It
okay,
was very
okay.
frustrating.
I can't even really get out here and test my skills. I can't really see what I got if I can't get on the
Right, and
field.
we're working them hard because I'm a personal trainer. I got them doing like actual
Yeah,
workouts and stuff. Like I got them working out and then playing basketball and then doing other stuff, right? Like drills and drills, like working out. Like at first, this is hard, this is hard. I'm like, you'll see.
yeah,
And then like it took like 2 or 3 years, and then they're like, oh, this is too much. But we're trying to get back. That's what I'm trying to get the Green Party to turn into now, where we just do the thing that needs to be done. We go in and start doing after school programs. We start doing
mm,
weekend camps. We start doing just like what Hapamana was doing. But it'll be a bigger thing because it'll have a backing that won't be able to just fail because of one circumstance, right? Like,
yeah. And so your nonprofit has only existed in Hawaii, right?
yes. During COVID, I went to Ohio, and the goal was to expand. I wanted to expand all around the country and really all around the world if I could.
Okay.
But I went to Ohio during COVID, and we actually had a meeting in Ohio, and I brought some people together because that's where I'm from, and we were going to try to start it there. and that was always my goal was Dayton, Ohio, is where I'm from. That to be the second place we go because I have family there and just friends, and it's an easier place to just start, right?
Right, right.
But I had the meeting in early COVID, what was it, April, May, June, probably like June 2020, and
Mm.
then COVID lasted much longer than any of us thought, right? So like I bought all the equipment for the camp. Like we had tennis rackets, basketballs, all the stuff like educational equipment because we were gonna start running camps in Ohio, and just COVID lasted what like 8 months longer than I thought it would, and it just really everything just shut down from that.
So you say, okay, so in Hawaii, you were trying to go to Ohio. COVID, of course, destroyed a lot of things. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
Um, and has it been something that you've been able to get back yet, or you still kind of working to get, or have you changed more of your energy towards the Green Party?
Okay. So once the kids stopped coming, I've always wanted to do like a food forest. Like I like permaculture, right? So in one of the low income areas, like I said,
Hold
it
on,
was a
what
dole,
is that?
a food forest, permaculture. So what it is if you have land, like what you do is you plant fruit trees and then you plant like fruit bushes and then vegetables and you plant like the layers of a forest, right? But you plant it with the intention of growing a lot of food for the area.
Hmm.
And I had access to probably like a good half an acre, maybe even an acre. And if I
Wow.
did it right, I'd have had access to more because it was an old Del Monte pineapple plantation that they just let grass grow over. And
Hmm.
so when the kids stopped coming, I was working in the area still. So I asked the lady if I could just start the food forest. And she said, yeah. And she really didn't know what I was talking about, right?
Yeah,
And I was telling the people around that live in the area that I was going to do this. And they didn't really believe me. They're like, yeah, right, whatever, whatever. That's too big. You're not going to do all that.
of
And
course.
so I went and bought a weed whacker and got like the metal blade for it because the grass here is thick, right? And so I just started weed whacking by
Oh, you didn't
myself.
tell people where you're at. Real quick, tell them where you live.
So I live in Oahu, Hawaii. On Oahu, Hawaii. Kunia is on kind of the west side. That's where I was doing the food forest. But I've lived mostly in Waikiki most of the time. Now I live in Aiea, which is central Oahu. And I'm actually going to be on the Aiea neighborhood board soon. The election starts April 25th and runs like 2 weeks. But there's 4 spots and 4 people running. So I'm going to get that.
It's like musical chairs with the exact amount of chairs as people.
It's
Like
perfect, right? Everybody
everybody
wins.
gets a chair.
Right.
So you went in and you were gonna it's called permaculture. And you
Permaculture, yes.
so you were gonna create like a food forest in an area from the Dole plantation that they had just kind of they weren't dealing with anymore.
They just let the grass grow over. So out on the west side, it's not all the way on the west side. It's like I guess you call it Midwest, but like it's Kunia area.
Yeah.
There's just grass everywhere.
Yes.
Huge, tall grass. It's like 8 foot, 10 foot tall. Like
Yeah.
that movie, whatever. When they get lost in the grass, it's like that. But
Right.
so yeah, I started whacking the grass down, right? And I
Mm.
put a ad on Facebook that I was in a low income area, that I wanted trees that donated to me, that I didn't really have a lot of money, but maybe I could buy like, 10, 20, $30 trees here and there, but I needed donations.
Yeah.
And this group called Green Thumbs Hawaii hit me up and let me post on their thing. And I got so many messages. I collected over 100 trees in a week. And I told the
Oh,
people, I need you to stop giving me trees because I can't put them in the ground this fast, right? Like I got too many trees. I think some are gonna die, and I don't want you to give
yeah.
me a bunch of trees that die. And
Wow.
so I kept whacking right and started putting trees in the ground. And my first mistake was I whacked way too much grass and couldn't put enough down that the grass grew back, right? A lot of the
Mm.
grass I knocked down grew back. So what I figured is you gotta, whack like a 10 foot area or so, you whack a certain area and then you plant that area and then you keep moving. So the
Gotcha.
grass doesn't grow over. But I got to where I had probably like 10 bananas because it's a lot of banana trees people gave me. So I put them down first. I had like 10 banana trees down. And we had like this little papaya area that my boss wanted me to grow. She said if I was going to grow this area, to do this papaya area. So we had that going. And then they saw me just cutting all the grass down and planting trees, and all the people that was like, "You're not gonna do this." They started coming like, "Well, can we help?" And I'm like, "You sure can." And I was like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, whatever you want. Like, you plant whatever tree you want, wherever you want. You can cut whatever area you want. If there's a certain area you want to make a certain garden of your own, you can do that. And
Wow.
so we had people just coming, helping, knocking down grass, planting trees. But I had so many trees; they were just mostly planting the trees I had. And then people were asking me, could they take trees to their house because they lived in the area, right? And people had fruit trees in their yard and whatnot. And I was just, yeah, take them to your house. They're still in the area, still part of the same kind of garden, right?
Right.
And so they were doing that. And this one lady, she was from Thailand, I think it was. And she said when she grew up, she was doing that gardening, like this layer gardening, not tillis, I forget how they call it, but it's like that level gardening they do in Asia, right? And she started doing it on a hill that we had in ours because we had this hill, and she wanted to do the level garden. She said it reminded her of her grandfather. I'm like, great, do that. And
Hmm.
so we did that from January to about, it got to be about April. And I mean, we had a big part done, and it was like looking great. And we had a forest fire that burnt the whole thing to the ground and is all the way gone. Because that big grass that I was talking about, there's a road up top, and somebody must have thrown a cigarette or something, burnt from down there, burnt all that grass and got into ours. And one of the things we did was throw a lot of wood chips down because wood chips keep, weeds from
Moisture.
growing up, and it keeps our paths clean, right? So the wood chips are going to catch on fire, our plants catch on fire, and then the grass we cut down, you can't take it all out. So we made these walls of grass, right? And so that's a lot of kindling of
Oh,
fire too. And
that's just
so
like
there was a lot.
kindling for a fire.
Yeah, and I
You,
even have a
you,
video
you
about
were
that too.
breadcrumbs for a fire, all pretty much, without
Yeah, it
planning
was
fire.
a lot of kindling there.
Oh
Yeah,
my
we had
goodness.
it burn it off, big forest fire. And actually, after that, I think I got a little depressed, and I didn't really do much
I'm
for a couple
depressed.
months.
I'm depressed right now for you.
Right, and because
Oh, and
there was just
everybody
so
that
much
put,
I was trying to do, it was just so kind of hurtful. But the
yo,
land
that
is still there. And when I get a chance with the Green Party, I just want to do it again. And now I have more people, right? Well, and I know how to do it better too. So,
so
but yeah, it
did
was a
you have to,
depressing moment.
I can imagine, bro. I can imagine. Um, did they just gave you that land from the Dole plantation, or did you have to put up any money for it, or what? How'd that work?
No, so it's their land, and like it
Right.
wasn't gonna be mine, and I was just gonna plant this permaculture food forest there and let them have it. Like it was just
Wow.
gonna be on their land, and because there's a housing complex, there's like 143 houses, I think it is, and it's a
Okay.
low income housing complex. You gotta qualify to live there, and you gotta work in agriculture because it's for agriculture people because it's an agriculture area. And those are a lot of the kids I was working with Hapamana, and it's just an area that is not being used. So I was just like, let me use it, let me plant this stuff, and if you plant it right, you don't have to really do anything to it. You can just go pick the fruits and stuff and just trim the trees here and there, but it'll grow itself it'll like a forest, right? Any forest
Yeah.
will just grow itself. And
Yeah.
so the goal was to do that, let them have that, but like film it like I was, and then go to low income schools and other low income areas and be like, can I do this here? Can I drop this here and
Mhm.
put a food forest here? And they just go around putting food forests everywhere where there's a need for food.
Bro, you have a heart the size of Hawaii, man.
But I mean, I've just always been a helper. I like
Like,
people. I want to help people, and I'm like a coach. I help kids. I've helped many people lose a couple 100 pounds.
yeah,
I like
that's just what
people.
you do. It's what you
Yeah, I
do.
just help.
What does Hapamana mean?
Hapa is the Hawaiian word or the Polynesian word for mixed,
Hmm.
or like it really means half. But when you're a mixed person, they call you Hapa. And
Uh,
mana is the Polynesian word for spirit or aura. So it's
hmm,
like the integrating spirit or integrating aura, right? So it's like bringing society together, integrating all people together is my
hmm.
spirit, my aura, my goal.
All right. So then, I mean, the massive question that I think everybody's going to want to know, you take a person like you who just has this tremendous heart, you have this tremendous passion for people, you're just giving of yourself and your time and your efforts and talent and all those things. And then you decide, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get into politics. So, so the question is, what takes a person from that life of what sounds like personal peace and gratitude, right? I mean, until there's a forest fire, but outside, outside of that, you've pretty much created a world. You've been blessed with a world around you that sustains like your own personal level of peace and personal gratitude to life, and how does politics elevate that, or what do you feel like you're going to bring to politics? Why that choice?
Okay, so I started Hapamana. I thought about politics a while back because helping people, right? But
Right.
then I'm like, I don't want to do politics. I don't want to be a Democrat, Republican. I don't want to be a senator. I don't want to have people try to change me. I don't know what that's going to do. So I'm like, let me start Hapamana. Let me just go directly to the people and do this.
Huh.
And it was working. And so I wasn't going to do politics. But then COVID hit and shut everything down, right? And when COVID shut everything down, like everyone was separated and jobs were being lost. And like say had Bernie Sanders won in 2016 and we had our universal health care, I think everything would have been different, right? And that's politics. Like because he lost and Donald Trump won,
Yeah.
things were different. We didn't have universal health care. He handled it the way he handled it.
Yeah.
And things went down and then Joe Biden and things didn't get much better for a while, right? But
Yeah.
say a politician like Bernie Sanders had won, or say the Green Party was in power, then we would have had universal health care and things like that also. So uh, Barack Obama got me following politics. I watched politics real thoroughly from him on. Like I love politics, and I listen to it all day. But
Uh,
it's just what the world is, right? It's how the world interacts with each other. That's what politics is, and so I just want to be up on that. And then after Hapamana and then the forest fire, I just was like, okay, well that didn't work, and I didn't have a. I don't know. I just felt like if politics was different, if things were different in the world, that a politician would want that to stay, right? Like, and if I can't do it through just like say getting grants and stuff, I felt like if I joined the Green Party and we could build the Green Party like I built Hapamana, right? If I can get people loving the Green Party like that, if I can get us doing after school programs and talking to hospitals and talking to teachers and talking to trainers and getting them to work with kids the way I was doing with Hapamana, people would be like, man, this is amazing, just like they were with that, right? But
uh-huh.
then we'll be in a more stronger role because it's a thing that's been there, an entity that's been there a little bit longer, but not just doing the thing that needs to be done. We'll be running for politics, right? They're like, oh, we really do like you. We want you to be mayor. Or we want you to be in the House. Or we want you to be the board on the board of this and that, right? And so then if another natural disaster happens and we're part of America's government, then we get to choose what doesn't go away, right? Like, because a lot of things went away that help people. A lot of just small businesses went away. Like, no, you don't have to go away. We'll give you UBI now while there's no business with UBI, or we'll have universal health care already and better education. Like we have a terrible education system here, and then we want to bring in HB1 visa people talking about, oh, they're smart, this and that. Why are people smarter than us when we're the most richest country in the world or of all time? They say, but then they talk about our colleges are bad. Why are colleges bad? Pay our college teachers to teach stuff. Pay our high school teachers to teach stuff. Our teachers should be paid vastly more than they are. If you don't get paid nothing and you got to work Uber after you get done teaching kids, you can't grade papers right. And you can't give them the time they need when you go to school.
That part. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, but it's just like that. Like all those things need to be done, but they need to be done. They can only be done by politicians. You know,
Right.
like politicians make the laws of saying what the teacher gets, makes the law of what is able to be done and not be done, basically all around. So I think we need to make laws for people.
So I think a lot of people would agree with most of the notes, if not all, that you just said. I know I don't have any issue with any of it, but I do want to ask. You were born in Ohio, but you're living in Hawaii, so you very much know that mainland life very different than island life,
Very different.
and all of that. And so I wonder if the community around you on the island makes it feel as though we can actually impart change a certain way, but will that translate once it gets back to the mainland? You see what I'm saying? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm about 100% sure it will. Who doesn't want their kid to have a free coach? Who doesn't want their kid to have a doctor or nurse mentor, right? Like I was gonna go to Dayton first, and then I have some family in Florida. I wanted to go there. Like I thought it'd just be easier where I have family around. But since it's gonna be like, if I can do it through the Green Party, we'll probably just go to our biggest hubs first, right, where we have the most connections. But it's I thought it would be much harder than it was. Like I had a lot of friends and I had a lot of connections that I wanted to get around these kids, but I didn't know how much they'd want to do it, and I didn't know how receptive the kids would be.
Mm-hmm.
So the first few camps I did, I only brought sports coaches. I brought because I thought the kids would want to play games and play sports. I didn't know if they'd want to sit there and talk to teachers and have to sit down and write things or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I brought, like I said, I just brought the sports guys. And then after a couple camps and the kids like us and they're all into us, I'm like, I got something new for you. I want you guys to do this, and then we'll do the sports every other one, right? So just bear with me, right? And they see like the crayons and the stuff, and they just ran to the teachers and like kind of left the coaches alone for a minute. I was like, what? And like, what are you doing? And like they were really into the knowledge part, and I thought I was gonna have to kind of trick them into it, right? So kids, they want to learn. They all want to learn, and I've
Absolutely.
kind of known that, and I know it on a one-on-one level. I didn't know it was going to be that easy on a big level because I'm talking about like 20, 30, 40 kids who don't who haven't had a lot of opportunity, right? They come from a really, really low income area and they don't know what tennis is. They don't, and like they might know what tennis is from like, YouTube or whatever, but they're not playing it and stuff. But I brought them things that I didn't think that they would see, and they saw them and they loved it. Like we did this
Mm.
engineering stuff, like a STEAM group came, which is they add art to STEM, right? So it's STEM with art, so it's STEAM, and they loved it. And I had this one lady who's
I like
this
that. I wish we had that. We don't
right,
have
and I
no
had this
art.
one lady who was from the hospital. She did Zumba with them, right? But she's
Yeah.
like super nurse who knows like I don't even know her credentials. Like she's way smarter than I knew she was, but I still talk to them now. She's just like this really, really smart lady.
Yeah.
And she would talk to them. And the first day she taught them Zumba, then came and was like, well, what do you want? And she's like, I'm gonna teach you something else. What do you want to learn? And she's Japanese, right? And they're like, well, do you speak another language? And she's like, yeah, I speak Japanese. I'm like, well, can you teach us Japanese? And she's like, sure. And so the first day she taught him to count to 10 in Japanese. And the
Mm.
next time she came, she taught him colors.
Ich
But
ni
like it,
san shi.
huh?
Ich ni san shi.
Like, see, I don't even know, right? I'm telling these kids, I'm gonna have people teach you stuff I don't know. So there's
Yeah.
gonna be stuff I won't be able to help you with, but I'm gonna keep bringing these people back, right?
Yeah.
And so all the people I came, every single person I came said they loved it and that they were coming back and that they would come back as much as they could and that they would bring their kids if they had kids. Every single person. My retention rate for volunteers was like 80%, and the people that didn't come back moved. Like a lot of people in Hawaii moved. So like they'd
Mm.
come to a few camps and sometimes they'd move, but like the people who lived here came to at least every other camp and just said they loved it and they would just always look forward to coming to the next one.
All right. That's fire. But Jordan, you still telling me about Hawaii.
No, but it's the same with any kid. If I take you
No,
to the
I
school
get the
next,
kids. I get the kids. You got trust me. I am on your page 100%. I think that everything that you're doing, I wish more of us adults took the time out to do that for different groups of kids across the US. It would change the landscape. So I'm with you.
to the
My
goal.
my thing is, but to get to that point, you're going through politics. So it's not just dealing with the kids, it's dealing with the adults. And so just like you said, what parent wouldn't want their kid to have a free coach? I'm gonna be honest, out here, a lot of them, because the first thing they're gonna say is, well, hold on, if it's free, then who's paying for it? Well, who's paying
Right.
for the place? Well, where'd that money come from? Well, hold on, you know what I mean? They're gonna want to find all the way because no one feels like anything free is actually free. So I'm saying, how do you feel like you're gonna be able to? Because you have a great energy about you, and it's almost like you're gonna be. I don't know if you ever watched the show Shark Tank. And Shark
So
so you're like, I feel like you're walking onto Shark Tank, and like you have this great idea, this great invention. You've already test marketed it with the kids. You're showing proof. You got videos. You bring kids with you. They're like, how about mine not? Like everybody loves it. And then you're in front of the sharks, and they're like, so is this a membership model or what are your numbers for the last few years? How are you growing? How do you see what I'm saying? So I'm
yeah.
saying, how do you see it pushing through that barrier and getting a deal at Shark Tank?
So like I said, I was trying to grow it myself before using my family in the spots I know. Now I'm gonna use the Green Party, and I talked to them about it, and they're very left wing party, which most people don't know what that means, but left is community oriented. Like they're very community oriented. I've showed them the videos and they're very into it. And they like that. Like everyone does. Anyone who sees the videos, it's like that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
So if just through the Green Party, I can organize, say, a camp across the nation. You know how we organize all these marches, right?
Yeah.
So what we'll do through the Green Party one day is do a camp across the nation and try to set up as many camps on the same day as we can. Like, and I just thought of this just now when you asked me.
There you go.
So what I'll do is we got a meeting on Saturday, so it's that like 2 days from now. So I'll bring it up in the meeting. But instead of doing a march across the nation, let's do a camp across the nation where we do a Saturday
Mm,
camp or a Sunday camp for some kids. Get as many volunteers as we can. Do the educational, do the sports stuff, feed them lunch and whatnot because we always fed them lunch. Try to feed them lunch,
I
and
like
then
that.
do that right, and then like film that whatever, talk about it and stuff, and then see what kind
Gotcha.
of reception we get from that. And I also thought we could do maybe like a plant across the nation, right? Instead of doing a march, go to schools and plant like some fruit trees around the schools and some things like that, right? Or low income areas. But just do what needs to be done and show people that we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so like as the Green Party, through the Green Party, you can look into the Green Party. You can check their financials, you can check my financials once I start working all that stuff. But
Yeah.
like through Hapamana, I was Guide Star? I think it was Guide Star verified. And so there's
Mm,
different places online that verifies nonprofits and whatnot. And you send them your financials and all this stuff, and they just check it and make sure that it's good. And so a lot of organizations they'll go through GuideStar or they'll go through a different one, right? And they just use GuideStar as their check because they don't have time to check everybody, right? But
yeah.
GuideStar, that's their job, right? So they make sure that they're on the level. And so through there, you could get bronze, silver, or gold, and I took
Mm,
the time to get gold level through Hapamana because I wanted everybody to make sure or to know that we were as legit as we could be.
yeah. Okay. Well, for stimulating that idea, I just want you to call it Cashmere Camp. But I love the idea. So
Okay. So why do you call yourself Cashmere? Is that your name or is there something behind it?
there's something behind it. So originally, I'm an artist, right? And so the name, the simple definition is that the name Cashmere is good material. And so I
Okay.
always say I got good material
There
as
you
a
go.
writer. The longer explanation of it is I always felt like when you see a cashmere sweater, when you see a cashmere scarf, when you see something that says 100% cashmere, you know that the place that has it is of quality.
Okay, I
It,
like
it
that.
raises the level of that place knowing that cashmere is in the building. So there it is.
That's cool. I like that. I like that.
See, so when you call it Cashmere Camp, it still works. It's like it's just an elevated view of the camp. That's it. But I'm just playing with you, man.
We'll call the California camp
There
Cashmere
you go.
Camp. You'll need that one.
I like it. I think that's a great idea. So so you told me that you were going to be running for the House, and that's in I think 26, and then later you're going to be running for Senate. So give me that view. You know what I mean? Like your 20-mile out view of like what it looks like in each step, and then where you want to end up in the Green Party so that you can affect as much change as possible.
So, for the House, that's first and 26, like you said. What I'm trying to do is talk to a lot of YouTubers like yourself. And what I'm doing is talking to a lot of the Green Party people. I want to get a lot of the Green Party people together to do stuff like this together, but then
Yeah.
do stuff with you and do stuff with other YouTubers to where we make the Green Party just bigger and
Mm,
just get out there in front of people. And like I said, do these camps right and then get you guys to cover the stuff in our camps and stuff and show what we're doing
yeah.
and just make us bigger, more legit because we're going to be more legit, right? And so I've been talking to them. I got like this 50 state plan that I've written out that I'm about to send out to all the Green Party people. And I got a list of all the YouTubers that I know, like probably a list of 100 left wing YouTubers, a list of probably like 50 right wing YouTubers, and just more and ways to get a hold of them. And what I want to try to do is just bombard YouTube. And I'm not as big on TikTok, but I mean, I suggest people getting on TikTok and helping me get on TikTok too, right? But get on
Yeah.
all the platforms, and if we can get on the regular news channels too, but we just need to hit the ground harder. We need to talk to more people. And especially like YouTube, because like even the small YouTube channels, they blow up in like 6 months sometimes. Like you could have a 200-person viewed channel that's like getting hundreds of thousands of views in 6 months,
Yeah.
and if you were on their channel, they'll have you back, right? And that's stuff like that. Like you help
Yeah.
me, I help you type of stuff. But just so for the first part, yeah, that if I can make it to the house, so like I want to get on stage. What we all are trying to do is get legitimized enough to get on stage to do the debates against it would be Ed Case for me, but whoever would be the Democrat, Republican in your area. We want to make the stage at least one person bigger, get the Green Party person on there,
Yeah.
so that you can hear the other side. Because
Yeah.
right now the Democrats are a right wing party. They are not a left wing
Mm,
party. They do not represent the people. They are both corporate parties, right? And so we're a people powered party. The Green Party, and so that's why I chose the Green Party, because I'm looking at the parties, I'm thinking of stuff, and I'm like, if they're really a people powered party, the people have to get in it to power the party. The
mm,
corporations are going to power the Democratic Party. They're
yeah.
going to power the Republican Party. So the corporations are going to have say, right? They're going to do their thing, and the people are going to sit back and be like, "Oh, we're not going to do nothing. We're not going to get anything done." If we're going to stand up and have these rallies, but back the Democrats saying they're different than the Republicans, we're going to get the same thing we got from Barack Obama. Barack
Mm,
Obama gave us a right wing healthcare system. That was written by
mm,
Mitt Romney. That was the system he wanted to pass. Barack Obama ran talking about universal health care, then passed a healthcare system that fined poor people for not being able to afford it. Not only did they say they dropped the thing if you had extenuating circumstances or however you call it, if you couldn't
pre-existing conditions.
pre-existing conditions, right? They dropped that so that you could get on healthcare. But say you couldn't afford the healthcare, you got fined for not being able to afford it. That's right
Mm,
wing stuff, right? That's corporate stuff. That's what Democrats give you. And who wrote the crime bill and who passed it? Joe Biden wrote the crime bill. Bill Clinton passed it. That's right wing stuff. That's corporate stuff. That's not for the people stuff.
interesting.
So if we're gonna be a people powered party, I need to convince people to get in this party. And so I had this thought. What was it? Join, vote, run. Join the Green Party at least, and vote at least, right? Because that's what we got to do as a people. And those people, some people need to run.
Yeah.
If it ain't you, get that one crazy friend that likes to talk, get them to run. One out of every 5 or 10 of us, you got one out of every one of our group needs to get out there and just run and be the people. Because we're the people, right? And the people got to do it. If the people don't do it, the corporations do it now. They're going to keep doing it.
So you had somebody last year in the last election, Dr. Cornel West, who had kind of stepped up into the election and was representing the Green Party, right?
Yes.
And then later on, he stepped away from the Green Party. I think that's when he pulled out of um, of the election. What are your thoughts on that? What did you support his movements and what he was trying to do politically through the Green Party?
So I liked that he joined the Green Party, and I liked that he wanted to run in the Green Party. I was a little disappointed when he left. And I was disappointed that he ran independent outside the Green Party. There's going to be disagreements with people, right?
Yeah,
We're not going to all agree on the same thing and want everything the exact same. But our top things are universal health care, either a higher minimum wage or UBI, food insecurity, stopping the wars, probably a couple other things. But I'll flip that's the top 4 or 5 things, right? And the Democratic Party is not for any of that, and the Republican Party is not for any of that. We need to solidify a party that is for the people and build it. Like running independent, like Bernie Sanders has been independent for 30, 40, 50 years. Had he done that in the Green Party or done it in the DSA or any party, he would have built that party for 30, 40, 50 years, however long it was, right? And they would have a base. That base that he built in 2016 would have had a party to slide into, and boom, people would have been big. They went to the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party said no, didn't want it. Didn't have that base, didn't do nothing that base wanted, right? If so, there needs to be a spot to build. We got to pick a spot and we got to build it. So I've been calling the DSA, the PSL, and all these other left wing progressive groups, trying to get them to come to the Green Party and at least vote together. But
yeah,
like get under the Green Party, be the Green DSA, be the Green PSL, because just people know Green already, right? It'll be easy to sell that and build that instead of building 17 different left wing or for the people type things that just stay small.
Now I know Jill Stein hasn't been um, in it as long as Bernie, I don't believe. So I know she doesn't have the type of um, following that Bernie has amassed. However, she has been a front runner for the Green Party for quite some time, right?
Right.
I
Hmm.
mean, even in recently she was the one on the ticket. So when you say if Bernie had have done that for the Green Party, why do you feel like Jill hasn't been able to put together that same type of base in the Green Party during her time?
Oh, because Bernie Sanders just has a aura about him. He's like a Donald Trump before the left, right? Like, why is Donald Trump like Donald Trump is? Nobody
You would
knows.
hate to hear you say that he
Well,
is a
no, but like,
Donald Trump.
but in a way,
It's
no,
good
like
though. It's
he's
good. I get what you're saying.
yeah, like special person where like Muhammad Ali, right? You're
Yeah,
very charismatic.
yeah,
People listen to you. People follow you.
yeah,
But if you follow Bernie Sanders, he has pictures sitting behind Martin Luther King in that rally.
yeah,
He has pictures where he's handcuffed to a black chick that's getting pulled away by cops. When this dude is like 20 years old, right? He had the wherewithal to
yeah,
care about black people when he was almost just a child, right? And he was in these rallies doing these things, right?
yeah.
And like through his 20s, he wasn't a politician. He tried to be a carpenter or something, whatever. And he didn't like what he was seeing. So then he ran for mayor or governor and then the other one and just moved his way up doing stuff. But if you watch Bernie Sanders from the beginning, he has these things where he's walking around the mall talking to little kids, not little kids, like teenagers. And one, they're like got this punk hair and stuff, and he walks up to him like, "Oh, well, why are you dressed like this?" You know, they're like, "Oh, fuck the man," or not "f the man," but you know, they're like, "Oh, this and that," and he's like, "Well, what's wrong with society? Tell me." And he's like, just talking to them like regular people and getting them to answer and stuff. And he's done this his whole life. There's a thing where he was in Congress and this guy talks about homos in the military, and then Bernie Sanders is like, "Are you talking about our gay brothers and sisters that fight for us, this and that?" And this is like in the 90s, right? Where like people
Mm.
weren't even thinking like that. Bernie Sanders has just been always ahead of his time and always right. He was talking about the Panama Papers before they came out. He was talking about there's this thing in Panama where people are putting their money in. Just wait, they're gonna find out that it's this like lie or whatever. And then like 10, 20 years later, they come out with the Panama Papers, all these people, you know. But look at Bernie Sanders' old school stuff. He's like Nostradamus. It's crazy. And
He's
like
been in it.
people who follow politics hardcore, not as much now because he's more of a Democrat. He's kind of putting his thing there. But up until 2020, man, he is like the man. He was always right, always doing the right thing until he wanted to back Joe Biden. But until then, but that's why he has that. And Jill Stein even knows. She asked him in 2016 when he got cheated by the Democrats. They called him. I wasn't a Green Party person yet, but Jill Stein and the Green Party called him and asked him to come to the Green Party, bring that fire, that rage that everyone has here, and we will back you. She said she would be his running mate, that he could be the head of the ticket, or if he
Nice.
wanted to buy have another VP, that he could probably do that too. But she was willing to step down from the head of the ticket and back him, and he didn't want to do it because he was scared of Donald Trump and wanted to back Hillary Clinton.
I mean, I get it though, bro. I mean, it's a sad. It's sad that politics is the way that it is because every election feels like now or never. It
Right.
doesn't feel like we're constantly working towards the place that we're trying to get to. It feels like
Exactly.
either we get it right this year or we're doomed, right? And so when you look at the numbers, just the sheer numbers, I was pulling up um the election results for Hawaii, looking at the Green Party, the Democrats, and the Republicans. The number, even in Hawaii, the numbers are so dramatically far away. I mean, it might have been 300,000 votes that Kamala got, and I think maybe the Green Party may have got like 2,000, or I mean, like it was like
Right.
a huge difference, like .8% of the votes, right? Point 0.6, something like that. And so I'm saying that to say, when you have somebody like Bernie, I'm pretty sure he's like, man, or Dr. Cornel West, like, this is what I want to do. But just like you, I know what my goal is. I know the end game, and I have to try to choose the best vehicle to get me to the end game, because I do believe that in their heart of hearts, Dr. Cornel West and Bernie Sanders are wanting to do well by the people.
Oh
They're
yeah,
wanting to do good for people. And so I
I
think
believe that too.
they have to make these really difficult choices that on the outside it probably looks a certain way, but on the inside maybe it makes more sense to them. So then my question to you, because you didn't say much about Jill, so I get the contrast of Jill and Bernie, but so Jill hasn't been able to do what Bernie has done. So who do you think is the best fit to lead the Green Party as it is right now? And do you think that you'll ever want to step into that role?
Okay, so I'm actually trying to interview Jill and Butch Ware, Jill Stein and Butch Ware. Jill Stein, I don't know her, but from the interviews I've seen from her, I think that she's more running to do a favor to the people, that she doesn't necessarily want to be president, but she would be if she won. But for the Green Party to be on the ballot in a lot of states, you have to have a presidential candidate. So somebody has to run to keep your ballot access. So that's why the Green Party does run a presidential candidate every 4 years, knowing that we're not going to win the presidential candidate or presidency most of the time.
Hmm.
So it keeps ballot access on at least 15 or 20 or more states, right? So we have to have a presidential candidate, and that's
Interesting.
why people get mad
Okay.
about that. Oh, you're only here every 4 years. So my thing to that is, but she's a teacher, right? And I don't, just for Jill Stein wise, I think she does it as a duty to the Green Party. I think if like she wanted Bernie to do it, if she could find somebody better, she would want them to do it. But she's doing it to keep us on the ballot. But
Placeholder.
Butch Ware, yeah. Butch Ware, I think he might be one of the leaders. He was the vice president or the vice president running or whatever with her last time.
Yeah.
And he's running for governor of California right now. So I might be talking to him on Monday, and if I can, I'm gonna try to get him on with you because you're in
That'd be great.
California. That makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
So Butch Ware, and he's a great talker, and I think he would be a great leader of the Green Party. We have a couple different governors running around the country, and so what I'm gonna try to do is get like a governors meeting where we can have a governor's town hall or something, all the different governors from around the country to get everybody a little bit more known.
Hmm.
But as for me, if they wanted me to be a leader, I would be. There was a point in my life where I was always a little bit immature, and I walked in a room one time and I'm like, wow, I'm the most mature person here, and it felt weird. But
Hmm.
then as I got older and more mature, like I played quarterback and now I'm a coach and stuff, like if something needs to be done and I know I'm the best to do it, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna just do it knowing I'm the best. But if I'm not the best to do it, I'll be the best Robin you've ever had. Like if somebody's better than me at something, I'm like, I got your back. I'll help you out. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like if it's like, oh, we're gonna coach some kids today, I'm probably gonna be the best one at that. I'll look around and see if anybody throws their hand up real fast. But if nobody throws their hand up, I'll be like, I got this, and everybody like, sweet, and they'll follow me because they know I got it because I'm real good with kids. But other things, like I'm decent at cooking. But if you say you're better than me, I'll be your backup chef. I don't mind. It's fine.
Sous
But
chef.
yeah, so things like if they want me to be the leader, basically, I will. That's not my goal. My
Yeah.
goal is to build the Green Party, and I think we need to fill tickets. I want to get as many people on the ballot, good people on the ballot as we can, so that way you don't just see the presidential person, right? You can vote for a governor, you can vote for a senator, you can vote for the city board people or the neighborhood board people, all
Hmm.
that stuff, right? And if you see the Green Party up and down the ticket, then you know you can vote for a full government, right? They'll have stuff. But if
Hmm.
you only see one or two Green Party people on the ticket, you know that they're going to have a hard time if they win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
that's a big thing to me.
that makes sense, and I'm glad you broke that down. I know a lot of people watching probably didn't know that um, um,
You got to run for
being
president.
in the presidential race is more of a play. It's more
Hmm.
of a play for the party. It's not so much with the intentions on winning, though. If you won, great.
Well, we're
But
trying to, right? But,
right. Like you're definitely trying to win. But if you don't, you're still doing it because there's a play for the party that still makes sense to keep
right.
the party thriving in certain areas.
Right. And Jill Stein is a fantastic talker. She's smart and she's charismatic to me. But I'm pretty sure she's doing it so that we maintain access, so that we can have governors. Because there are a couple governors around the country that we have. We have a lot of city board people. And then like if we can run for office, we can debate the people, and we can at least get the word out there and get more opinions out there, more. give people options.
And that's a big thing. That's kind of what I've been wondering. It's like which party is going to finally emerge as like the third choice? Because right now it feels like the only two choices that we have are like in ruins. At times it just kind of feels like everybody sounds the same way. It's like, well, I like this person better than that person.
Right.
Or even worse, I hate this person less than I hate
More.
that
Right.
person.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. The lesser evil.
That's more what it is. Sorry, excuse it.
Exactly.
It's not like them. It's more I hate them or dislike them or I disagree with them, whatever. And so you're starting to. We've heard the common term is the lesser of two evils.
Exactly.
Politics shouldn't be
It
that.
shouldn't be
It
that way.
really should not be lesser. So I've been wanting to know who is it? Is it independents? Is it the Green Party? Is it libertarians? Like, where is this? Where is the other choice going to come from? And when you look at the numbers, it's like, man, it doesn't seem like it's close. So, what you being in the Green Party and doing all the changes and making all the efforts and coming up with all the ideas that you have, which, by the way, commend you once again for it. What do you feel like the party needs to finally be without going down the corporate road? Because as we know, a big part of what keeps the right and the left so big is that they are at the top of the media conversation at all times. They have right wing media, left wing media. They are in the news. They're just in the constant flow of things, and a lot of that is money.
Exactly.
A
Yes.
lot of that is corrupt with money, and so how when the system is so corrupt and when so much money um, directs the directions, how do you see the Green Party breaking that door down?
So there's a couple things to that. Bernie Sanders and them showed you that you can get the people to donate to you 19 $27 at a time, can raise you lots and lots of money, especially across the entire United States.
And he raised a lot of money.
Right. And so if we do what I said, go out into the community, do our after school programs, do our weekend programs, like what do you call it? Tutor kids who need help in math, tutor kids who need help in science. Those parents who are like, oh man, my kid, they will never get this right. Help that kid and show them that we really care and just do it. Put it on YouTube and stuff. Like you said, they got their own media, the right wing media and the center right media. They got their money. It's corporate and they're gonna be on the media. So I'm gonna talk to YouTubers. I'm gonna talk to people who want to get their word out, who want to get our word out. And I'm gonna try to cross YouTubers. I'm gonna try to get as many Green Party people to as many YouTubers as I can. And TikTok, I'm gonna try to get our good TikTokers, our younger people, to get as many of us on TikTok as we can and blow up as much as we can that way. But I feel like reaching out, I really feel that reaching out to the community and just doing like the Hapamana style stuff will show people that we really care, that we mean actual business, that we care about you, whether you vote for us or not. We're
Yeah,
gonna keep doing this. Be
yeah,
it a cycle or two, you're gonna be like, wow, they're still doing this. They really care about us. Put them in office. Why not? If we're in office, if I made what a senator makes, a couple $100,000, $180,000, all I would do is volunteer coach on my off time. I would coach football teams around, volleyball teams, basketball teams. I just go to schools random days and be like, oh, let me tutor some kids in math real quick. Like I don't need no more money than that, right? And I'll probably be donating money still. So it's like once we get Green Party people in Senate, in the House of Representatives as the president, like then we got all the money we need. We just donate our time, do this, get what needs to be done, and we run the government now. We can put government funds right into schools, right into teachers' pay. Like all these things that the government does, like the Clinton Foundation, they built houses in Haiti and spent like hundreds of millions of dollars and built like 5 houses. What is that? Just build the houses. Don't be paying people all this weird stuff. Do what needs to be done. If you want to pay people, just pay the parents of the kids and let them decide what they're doing, right? Like if you got low income people, pay the low income people themselves. Don't pay the people that are trying to delegate the money $1 million a year when you run a nonprofit. That's nuts. Pay the act, get it to society, all the needs to society. But basically, if the Green Party shows that we're going to bring what society needs, then people will give us their vote. I think to get on the TV, like we're going to talk to YouTubers, TikTok, and if anybody knows TV people, I'm gonna tell them try to get on TV. But TV's not even the big thing now. I think like we get on the biggest YouTubers we can, and I think that'll be fine enough.
Your approach is similar to Apple. I remember when Apple was donating Apple iMac computers to like all the schools. All
Like Bernie
live.
Sanders, I don't like that comparison.
Scratch the political side of
Right,
it. And what they were doing was putting Apple in the hands of kids early, so
right,
that as
yeah.
they grew, that was
They
the
wanted
product that
Apple.
they were familiar with. They trusted. They were conditioned to know that. It sounds like in a much more positive manner, you are trying to go at it from the ground level, like go to the people, let the people know who we are, what we do, why we're here, and that we'll always be here.
Exactly.
And so my hope is I can't wait to speak to more people in the Green Party through you. I just hope that they all have the consistent passion that you have, because not a lot of people have that. If I made this amount, I got all I need, I'll donate the rest. Nah, most people are like, oh, that's good. But they got, well, that's good. But what if I, well, that's, you know what I mean? It's just a constant gimme, 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 gimme. So I hope for the benefit of the party going in the direction that you see, that more and more people start to galvanize together that have the same vision that you have for the party.
I appreciate. I think we are. Everyone in the Green Party loves the videos of Hapamana,
Yeah.
loves my vision, loves my energy, and so I think everybody that you'll talk to, they have a similar vision, similar energy. Like I'm a little bit high energy for some people. It depends on where I'm at,
Yeah.
but like as like I mean, there's not a lot of people. Like people tell me I'm a little overgiving, so don't expect people to be quite as I'm gonna give everything I have. But you're gonna
Yeah.
be way different than any Democrat or Republican you would be able to talk to. I tell you that.
Well, I'm gonna ask this as one of the last questions. Um, I know a lot of things that we've talked about have been a lot of domestic issues and a lot of domestic um, initiatives, dealing with Americans. But a lot of politics is also dealing with our allies. It's foreign policy. It's those types of things. I know the Green Party is very much against war efforts and things of that nature. Um, uh, in a broad stroke way, how does the Green Party deal with some of the foreign atrocities that are going on right now in the world?
So first, America, we are causing a lot of the atrocities going on. If we just stop supplying weapons and stop manufacturing so many weapons, there won't be no weapons to use and bullets to shoot. If you know about China and you know about BRICS, for the past probably 20, 25 years, China's been going around half the world building the Belt and Road Initiative, which is build big ports, railroads, and big just infrastructure throughout Africa, Asia, and different places. What we do is we go around and spend trillions of dollars blowing up countries like Afghanistan and Iraq. If we took the Green Party or my Hapamana idea and took that trillions of dollars to Iraq and just built buildings and schools and food forests and said, hey, love us instead of killing their parents and then killing their parents and then killing their parents, they'd have a whole different view of us. Or if we just left them alone, there'd be, they wouldn't be, there wouldn't be that. But we've gone around the world cooing people, causing wars, killing people and all kinds of stuff. If we just stopped that, the world would be a different place. If we went around with a happy attitude, trying to say, hey, we'll help you build, all right. I like China's initiative, how they're doing the Belt and Road. I think we should talk to them more, talk about BRICS, and we should just become part of the world order. Like, I'm not like people say, oh, the one world order, one world order. I'm a Star Trek type of person. Eventually, there should be an entire world together, right? A world conglomeration where we're going out into space and doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to do science. I want to get to that, right? So I'm gonna try to help the world just like I try to help the people of my country.
All right, man. Well, last question I have for you, bro. Once again, I know I said it earlier, but thank you for your time, man. This has
Thank you
been
for
an
having me.
enlightening conversation. I'm glad you tapped in. I think you were watching my conversation with one of my conservative
Yeah,
friends when
it was.
when you first reached out. And I know we didn't get into that, but I know you'll be back. A lot of conversations we'll have in the future. But just letting everybody know. what's next? I know you kind of alluded to a few things during this conversation, but what's next for you? What's next for the party? You know, going into the next 4 years of this cycle, what do you see in the future?
What I see is getting as many people as I can into the party, talking to the DSA, getting our party built, getting the 2026 ballot filled with as many people as we can. I want to try to get at least say 5 or 10 people in every state, and then by 2028, getting the entire ballots filled up and down. On Saturday, we're going to talk about ranked choice voting. We want to get that into the ether, get people, because if we get ranked choice voting out there, then we have a way better chance because people vote for us first, then the safe party, and then whatever. So get ranked choice voting out into the ether and just, like I said, do what needs to be done. Start working with the communities, talking to schools, building food forests, doing after school programs, working with children, and even working with, like if we got trainers, work with adults, help this obesity problem we got in America. Like I've helped my sister, I helped her lose over 200 pounds. I've helped
Wow.
many women lose over 200 pounds, and that saves lives, right? So, I mean, just getting out there, we can do that too, and I can help people do that. So, just helping the community, getting out there, showing face, building up.
Love it, man. Well, this community could sure use a free trainer. So we look look forward to it making it to California. Bro, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Jordan, it was a pleasure, bro.
I appreciate you for having me, Cashmere. Can't wait to do it again.
For sure. All right, now, peace out.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching the show. This has been the Pod is Good podcast. I hope you learned something. Hope you were enlightened. If you need to know more, go look it up. Green Party has a website. There's plenty that you can look up. I'll put some of Mr. Conley's links in the show description so you can see what he's doing with Hapamana. Beautiful, beautiful program for the kids. And, you know, if this made you feel anything about just watching one person, right, have an idea for change in his head and put forth the effort to go see that change happen, and how he did it didn't take a lot. It didn't take a lot. There are people out there that really want to do things for each other. He had a whole community come out and help him plant trees. And I mean, it's people are there. If you build it, they will come. Don't wait on the politicians. Don't wait on everybody else. If you feel change is needed, be the change. That being said, pot is good. And all the time, I'm Cashmere, California. I'll holler at y'all. Peace.